Hi Flosstube, I'm Annie and I am the Proper Stitcher and welcome to episode 104. If this is your first time joining me, I am so glad you stopped by today. This is a channel where I like to talk about cross stitch, sometimes a little bit of quilting, and hopefully give you inspiration to fully finish your projects. And if you're returning, thank you so much for your continued support. All of your messages and comments you send my way, I appreciate each and every one of you. So I hope you all have had a wonderful last few weeks. It has been crazy here, getting everybody ready for school, getting Gray packed and organized to go back to school up in Michigan. And she's been sick since last Thursday, so trying to get her over her summer cold so that she is well enough to go back to school. And we've had some terrible storms. So it has just been a crazy last few weeks. So I am so glad to come to you today because today is going to be a special edition Flosstube. Today I'm going to share with you my 5 new releases that I will be exhibiting next week for the Needlework Marketplace, which is an online needlework market, wholesale needlework market for shops. So it is where local needlework stores, brick and mortar stores, and online stores go and order inventory directly from the designers and have it for their customers. So they are taking pre-orders. If you see anything you like, please let your needlework shop know that they can come by and see me on the virtual market. I will have a newsletter going out to them by the end of this week. Today is Wednesday, so I hope to have that newsletter out to them by Friday. So maybe Saturday. So have them reach out to me and tell them what your order is. They would be happy to place an order for you. My goal is to have my items in local needlework stores so that I can directly help support their business. You all know that I am a firm believer in supporting needlework shops, and so I would love to have these available to you to purchase directly through your favorite shop, and then you can also kit it they can kit it for you while you place your order. So thank you so much. Before I begin, I want to thank all of you who have given me so much encouragement and have just accepted my first 4 designs that I released a few weeks ago. And I have seen so many wonderful posts on Instagram, on Facebook, and I have just enjoyed seeing my designs out there in your hoop. I have loved that. And thank you so much to so many Flosstubers and shops who have supported me. Flosstubers are mentioning my patterns, and that just makes me so happy. Thank you all so much. I really do appreciate you. And thank you to all the shops who have purchased from me to have my patterns in their store. So like I said, just contact your shop where you like to spend your stitchy money and ask them to add the Proper Stitcher to their list of designers that they carry. So let's get started with these 5 new releases. So what I'm going to do is, because this is a special edition Flosstube, my giveaways will be next time, our next video. So if you have not had a chance to watch episode 103, you're welcome to go back, watch that episode, and enter to win the giveaways there on that episode 103. And then episode 105, I will pull the winners or draw the winners for those prizes. Today is just going to be about the new releases because there's a lot to go over and I'm excited to just share those with you. So let's start with number 1. My first release for fall. These are all original designs. I did not do any reproductions this time. Those were the first 4. I did my antique reproductions and samplers reimagined. So these are all original. So I'm really excited to share them with you. So I forgot to mention, grab a pen and paper because if you want to take notes and let your shops know which ones you want to order, grab your favorite beverage and grab your cross stitching and let's get started. This first one is so cute and so sweet. This is Ezmerelda's Blackbirds. And I really wanted to create a design that was quick to stitch, a great gift, or something that you can stitch and put in a dough bowl or just stick out on a tiered tray or somewhere with your Halloween decorations. So I wanted it to be a little witch, and I wanted her to be just whimsical and cute. So I've named her Ezmerelda, and these are her birds. These are her blackbirds, and this is her cage that she keeps her blackbirds in. And I absolutely love her little face. And I love that the gate is open on the cage, as if she had just pulled the blackbirds out of the cage to play with them or let them out for their evening playtime. I just thought that this was such a cute way to show her blackbirds. So let me tell you a little bit about Esmeralda. And what I'm waiting on right now for Esmeralda is some decorative pins from Jersey Girl Stitch Company. They should be arriving today or tomorrow, but I just needed to go ahead and record this Flosstube. So Teresa, I can't wait to get those pins. When they arrive, I will stick them in, and next week for episode 105, I will show you all this again with all the detailed instructions on how I finished this. So let me tell you the details about Ezmerelda. So Ezmerelda is, her stitch count is 62 by 70. So she's super small, super quick to stitch. I stitched her on 32 count, fiber on a whim, and the color is cypress. So cypress is sort of that smoky gray, almost a little bit of green to it. I love that fabric. Because this is on 32 count, there were just a lot more possibilities. I wanted to use 2 strands of floss because I really wanted the colors to pop and to stand out. So I chose a 32 count. I did finish her on a Stitch Etc. Tyler board. So this board measures a little bit over 6 by 6 inches. So if you wanted to stitch Esmeralda on 28 count, it would still fit on this board. And even if you wanted to stitch it, we'll have to do the math, but you can also probably stitch it on 16 and 18 count and it would fit. But I used 32 count, fiber on a whim, cypress. And I used 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads. So the finished size on 32 count is 3 7/8 inch by 4 3/8 inch. She would also be super cute, just sewn into a little pillow to put in a dough bowl or as a little ornament. So I used a combination of Weeks Dye Works, Classic Color Works, and Gentle Arts threads. Here are all the colors that I used for this, this piece. And there is a DMC conversion chart. And then here are all the colors. Super pretty, super fun, lots of great choices. I also used Lady Dot Creates Anemone Rickrack. The color is called Anemone, which is hard for me to say, but that is the color Rickrack, which is sort of a smoky blue, smoky gray. I just had this checked fabric that I used as a backer. And then, like I said, when I get Teresa's pins, we'll stick them in here. But this is Esmeralda's Blackbirds. And my favorite color, new favorite color for me, that I've never used before is this purple. This purple is Basil, which is a Weeks Dye Works color. And what I like about that color, let me just show you, is that it has just a little bit of brown mixed in with the lavender. So it's such a pretty color. And it was so much fun to use on her dress. I'm really excited about her. And thank you to Kay Reese. Kay Reese model stitched this one for me. She's a beautiful stitcher. But this was so much fun to design. I cannot wait to see if Esmeralda has any friends that come along the way over the next year or so to be a little companion piece for her. But this is Esmeralda's Blackbirds. So that is number 1. And then my next one that I am excited to share with you is an autumn piece. This is called Autumn Sampler. And I wanted a small fall sampler that was not Halloween. I wanted something that had a lot of color, but was for autumn. So this is Autumn Sampler. I used blue. This is Twilight Weeks Dye Works for the letters. And the house is in whiskey. So I really wanted to play off of the golds and the blues of fall time. So that was a lot of fun. And then this bittersweet vine I have wrapped around with a crow or a blackbird holding a bittersweet berry. So let me give you the information on Autumn Sampler. Autumn Sampler is 80, the stitch count is 80 by 76. The fabric that I use to stitch this is 32 count Grace Notes fabric in the color Phillip. What I like about this color fabric is that it has more modeling to it than the cypress, and it's more of a gray color than the green. It's a beautiful color, and I love the 32 count. Grace Notes fabrics are super soft, wonderful to work with. This one can be finished in so many different ways. I wanted it on a board because I can see this on my kitchen counter, but it's also small enough that if you want to finish it into a pillow, you can, or frame it. So here are the more details about it. I used 2 strands of floss over 2 linen threads because this is on 32 count. And the finished size for this is 5 inches by 4 3/4. So it's almost a perfect square. So this would be great in a 5x5 frame too. So I did finish this on another black board from Stitch Etc. This is a Tyler board, and I used the coordinating DMC floss for a cording trim. I will go over these details on how I finished it in my next video. But this is Autumn Sampler. And I will, it's also awaiting a pin from Jersey Girl Stitch Company to go on here because she has some wonderful autumn pins that she's sending my way. But let me come up one more time. Autumn Sampler, and it's 2 shades of green for the vine. That is Forest Glade and Endive. It is a combination of Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Art floss. And I also provided a DMC conversion. Super quick and easy to stitch. What a wonderful gift. This would be so pretty on a fall time basket if you wanted to put some bittersweet in a basket or in like a tin container. So many things you can do with this little sampler, and leave it out all season. It doesn't have to come down after Halloween. It can stay out. It can be out for Halloween and it can be out for Thanksgiving. So that is Autumn Sampler, quick and easy. And all of these, I will also be sharing photos of these on Instagram and on Facebook, and in the newsletter that I'll send to your shops. My next design that I created is called Sweet Blessings. I wanted to create a pattern that was non-seasonal so that you can leave this out year round. You could do, you can give it as a gift. You can do so many things. This is a monochromatic piece, and this is called Sweet Blessings. Let me come in and show it to you. This is just one of those quick, simple, easy stitches. I really got this inspiration from my daughter, Gray. It's just reminds me of her. Just really love the simplicity of it and the sweetness of it. The flowers are just so much fun to stitch. I love how they just look like they're blowing in the wind. And then it has this loose bow down here at the bottom. What I love about a monochromatic piece, and I've said this before when I have stitched them to share them with you, and just from other designers, is that you can choose whatever color you want. You can use any color fabric you want. You can use any color floss you want. And when I was trying to decide what I wanted to do with this piece, I really almost stitched this in a green fabric with a white floss, or a cream floss. But I decided to reverse that and do it the other way around. So here are the details on Sweet Blessings. This stitch count is 102 by 148. I stitched it on 36 count Cream and Sugar by Fiber on a Whim. And I used 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads. The finished size is 5 inches by 5 5/5 inches by 8 1/4 inches. So it comes out to be this super sweet size. It would be great on any stitch count. It would look great on 40 count. It would look great on 14 count, whatever you want. I had this framed by Ramona Bishop at Bennett in Knoxville. That is where I go and get my items framed. And we picked this beautiful, thick, almost like a shadow box, burled wood frame. So this is called Sweet Blessings, and I'm gonna come in one more time just so I can share it with you. And it's almost like the flowers are just in an encasement, in their own frame. So let me start up here. And it is just so much fun. You can even change the colors and add change the color of the bow if you want to just add a little pop of color, or make it more than one shade of color. The color I used, this green, is Weeks Dye Works Seaweed. And I did provide a DMC conversion for that. But again, you can stitch it in any color you want. So this is Sweet Blessings. And it was such a quick stitch. So much fun to stitch too. And it just, like I said, it just reminds me of my daughter, and it just makes me happy when I look at it. So that is Sweet Blessings. And now on to number 4 of my, actually 4 and 5 are sort of, they're companion pieces. So let me tell you a little bit about the inspiration behind these two. So these two, I knew that I wanted to create a companion set, and I wanted them to be crows. I wanted them to be crows going out on the town, crows either dressed up in their finest or going to a party, or just something to do with Halloween with the crows. So this is their season. This is when they want to go and celebrate. So that was sort of the thought process that I started with this. And then I started thinking, well, what would they wear? And then I am obsessed with Victorian era, and I love all things from that time frame. And so I thought, well, my crows are going to be quite sophisticated, and they are going to be, in my mind, from that time period. So I am calling these two Steampunk Penelope and Steampunk Percival. And the reason I came up with the name steampunk is because that is a fictitious genre during the Victorian era, where it's sort of a clash between Victorian era and science fiction. And it is, if you were reading the novels from that time, it could have a little hint of science fiction to it, but more on the Victorian side. But they wore very dressy clothing. They wore their glasses and goggles, and it just was one of those things that just stuck with me. So my crows are steampunk in theme, but they're Victorian in theme. This is Steampunk Penelope. And Penelope is wearing a very purple dress. I just love purple. I thought purple would be a great color for Halloween this time. I wanted it to be something, like I said, a little bit dressier, a little bit more sophisticated. So she's wearing purple. All Hallows Eve is the evening where they're going out. And she has this adorable purse swinging on her shoulder. So let me come in and let you take a look at Penelope. All Hallows Eve. We have some gold stars and background twinkling stars. She has this beautiful collar and brooch on her shirt, this amazing hat with a feather in it, and her dress is 2 shades of purple, so it just gives it the feeling of it moving in as she walks and moving in the wind, or while she's walking. So let me tell you some information on Penelope. So Steampunk Penelope measures a stitch count 101 by 127. The finished size would be 5 5/8 inch by 7 inches. And I stitched her on 36 count, fiber on a whim, in the color wheat, because I wanted the fabric to be really gold and brown. So I used, and because it's 36 count, I used 1 strand of floss over 2 linen threads. And I wanted her framed almost like she was in a book, like the stitched framing is almost like a bookcase, like a cover of a book. And I wanted her frame to be very industrial, very, a combination between modern and old world. So I had Ramona, we picked this frame, and I just love it. But any kind of chunky black grayish frame would be perfect. I did provide a DMC conversion for this. The colors that are used are a combination of Weeks Dye Works and Gentle Arts. And one note I made in here is for the black for the crow, I used espresso bean with Gentle Arts, and I left you 2 color conversions. You can use DMC 310 if you want it just straight black, or 3371 if you want sort of a black brown. Espresso bean is more of a dark chocolate brown, almost black. So I felt like I would give you those 2 color conversions if you choose to stitch this in DMC. Just like with anything, and like all the ones I've mentioned, that when you convert to DMC, you're not going to get the same effect, but I tried to get them very close for you. You just won't have the variegation. We have the alternating colors in the border. We have lime green and 2 shades of purple and black, or the espresso beans. And I love the font on this. I really wanted something just Victorian in nature. But this is Steampunk Penelope. And now Penelope cannot go to the ball or the party or the soiree alone. So she is taking with her Steampunk Percival, or Steampunk Percy if you would like. And his name is Percival, Percival, or Percy. I will list all the names of these charts below so that when you call your shop, you can tell them the specific names. But this is Steampunk Percival, and he measures the exact same size as Penelope. So it's the same stitch count, same finished size, and same frame, same fabric. The colors are pretty close. He has a few extra colors, some colors that Penelope does not have, and vice versa. She may have 1 or 2 that he doesn't have, but for the most part, they're coordinating. So you can have these facing each other on your shelf. You can stitch these for pillows, or you can put them together and make one big piece. But let me tell you about Percival. He looks rather dapper with his cuffs on his legs. It's almost, I was just thinking like French cuffed sleeves. Well, he has wings, so we put his cuffs on his legs. He has a cane for walking, just more for sophistication than for utilitarian. His border is a different shade of purple. He has a darker purple. And I use that same color basil that I used on Esmeralda's dress. We used the basil for his vest. And I felt like he needed some sort of eyewear. So he has a monocle, so his eyeglass. He too has a dapper hat, very sophisticated, and October 31. I used the same gold for the stars in the background. And I just thought that he turned out very nicely. And I love the font that we have used on this. So this is Steampunk Percival and Steampunk Penelope. And they will wrap up my 5 new releases for this season. And I just hope you love them as much as I did stitching them. These were a lot of fun to create and envision and think about and go over and over what I wanted to do. I really wanted their wings to be tucked behind them as if they are in motion. I wanted their body movements to be as if they were in motion. So it's almost like they're mid-walk or just more animated versus stationary. I love his tail. It reminds me of a tuxedo. So again, he's rather dapper in his evening out with Penelope. So I hope y'all like them just as much as I do. Also, with this online market, I will also have my other designs available for shops to order from me directly if that's our first time having an interaction. Of course, they're available now to purchase, but I also will have them available for the shops. I'm going to link the Flosstube below where I went over these in detail, but I will have these available. This is When Flowers Bloom 1830. This will be available on the marketplace. Caroline Carter 1823 will be available. Clarissa's Garden Sampler will be available. And Zeresh 1789 will be available. Zeresh Andrews will be available. So I wanted to show those to y'all just in case this is your first time watching my Flosstube, so you can go back and get a little bit more information on those 4 reproduction samplers and reimagined samplers that I have released as well. So to recap, I have 5 new releases coming out for Needlework Marketplace. They will be available only to shops during Marketplace. Just to give them an opportunity to purchase and sell. That is where they will be only available through shops for the next month, couple of months really, and then after that I will have them available on my Etsy shop. But for now, contact your local needlework shop or your favorite online shop, place a pre-order, and let them know they can reach out to me at theproperstitcher@gmail.com. I am getting everything ready. I'm printing copies. I'm getting everything ready so that when the marketplace happens, I can ship these patterns to shops immediately so they can be available to you, and so that we can go ahead and get ready for stitching for fall time. I will also start designing and getting ready for Christmas. So many fun things coming ahead. Like I said, this is a special edition episode. Stay tuned next time. That's when I'll do the giveaways. I'll have giveaways and we'll go over the ones from the previous episode. So until then, thank you so much. I hope you enjoy your choices for your autumn and fall time cross stitch. Have a great week.